Welcome to another Liquid Bullet Productions. With us today is sports commentator and presenter and former Muay Thai champion, Mr. Danny Kendrick.
Hello.
How you doing, Dan?
Hey, you alright?
Nice to have you.
Yep, nice to be here, mate.
How's things working out for you at the moment?
Good, mate. Yeah, really good. Can't grumble. I've seen what you guys have been doing. Liquid Bullet Productionz, interviewing all the gangsters who shot who in a Range Rover and all that. I've been keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, we're trying to split off to different avenues now, so
of course.
different paths. So.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and let everyone know I've never shot anyone in a Range Rover and I'm not a gangster. No, not yet.
So Dan, so currently you're doing all the big shows, the big fight promotions and stuff. You run us through a little bit of that?
Yeah, I'm really busy, Lee, which is good. Abroad 1 week, back the next week. Done 3 shows in a weekend the other week, so I've done the Friday, the Saturday and the Sunday. Lots of strepsils, keep your voice going. Yeah, it's been really busy, really good. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, just boxing and kickboxing predominantly, and I'm really enjoying myself.
You're going to start you. How did you get involved into being like a commentator and presenter? How did that come about, that opportunity?
Well, I turned up to a show with a fighter, 11, 12 years ago, something. And the promoters come running in, going, look, we're going to go live. I've got no commentator. I think, just eyed up. You've got a big mouth. You can do it. Will you come in there? I was like, just looking after the fight. I went, I'll have a go. And that was my first taste of it. I jumped in there. There was an experienced guy there as well, came in after. And then everyone just started, yeah, that was good. That was really good. And I sat there. You got 2 roles as a commentator. Everyone thinks they can do it, but it's not easy. There's a very select few people who can do it properly, especially in this country. Like you got Vinny, Malcolm, Rob Cox. These people, they've done it, you know. They know how to put on a proper show. You've got play-by-play, and you've got your colour commentator, or your lead and your technical, people call it. So I came in as a technical, but I portray excitement better. So what I do is I then went into the lead role, if you like, and basically you portray excitement, and then your co-commentator will come in and give you a technical breakdown, you know, of what's happened. I commentate a lot with people like Dave Fensom, Sean Toomey, Alex Foreman, good technical commentators as well. So I can say, oh, this guy's just put him to the floor, amazing knockout, blah, 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 and they'll come and say, yeah, what he should have done is this, and what the other guy should have done is this. And it works well on a professional level. You've got to know your role.
So really you need sort of a background, a history of the background to be able to do that sort of involved
most
job.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't come in as an outsider of that sport and be able to do it.
No chance. You get found out.
Yeah.
You get a lot of criticism, Lee. Trust me, you get a lot of criticism. I've seen another really famous commentator in this country go to Facebook before, where you get a bit of not even abuse, like people send you message that someone loses a fight, right? One guy wins it, the other guy loses, and people don't like what you say about them, but it's just a game. So you can't get. I mean, this guy, he helps people for a living, like with mental problems or I don't know, depression or whatever. He helps people for a living. He's been there from day dot, and you just got to be thick-skinned. You just got to get on with your job in hand and go on to the next weekend and just give the fighters what they deserve in there. Really.
Dan, have you ever had to commentate on a show where you're sort of friends with a fighter or train at the same camp as a fighter? How does that work? Because
it's hard.
I was going to say, does your mind obviously want to commentate about him or his side, but you can't do that, can you? Obviously, you're going to have to be...
Especially as a lead, you know, and I've been there. I mean, sometimes I've been with a guy who I lived in Thailand with, he's fighting, it was... at one point, I've even gone to him like, "Come on, mate! Like, what's going on? Like, off the mic and all that." It just pulls you in, you know, like because the guy just wasn't fighting how I knew he could. And yes, I've had those moments, and then like other people say, "Come on, mate, what's going on there?" Like,
yeah, I've heard myself, and I've been watching fights where a commentator is all about the one person. He doesn't mention the other person's name, so it must be a connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, listen, I literally, like I said, I've done 3 last weekend. It's like every week I'm doing shows, and I don't get a lot of, for every one bad bit of feedback or one person that doesn't like, you've got 10, 15 people going, "Thanks so much for that commentary." That's what makes it worth it, to be honest. Not the £6 million a week I earn from it, it's the, you know what I mean? The Bentley they buy you as a gift. It's, no, it's more... It's just people saying, "You thanks so much for your commentary." I've had people lost fights. "Thanks so much for talking about me good on the fight and bringing it forward. Really made it." I have people going, "Your comment, I can't wait to do this show because you're commentating on it." I'm like, "Oh, wow."
How do you find it if you it's a bad, let's just say, 2 unskilled fighters in there? How do you find that?
I've done loads of them.
How do you find that to commentate?
That's a very hard skill that's hard to adopt, and it's called getting excited when you're not as excited as what you probably should be. Yeah, I mean, listen, you get good fights, you get bad fights. It doesn't matter about the show. I mean, I do massive shows like Lion Fight, Raw Combat League, Kickboxing, H46 Pro Boxing League, really big shows. I've done ACB. You'd be in Paris one week, Romania the next week. These are really big shows, you know, and you don't always get those really good fights on those shows. You can have a small show. I could go to Liverpool one weekend, have a tiny little show in the sports hall, and you see like one of the most amazing fights you've ever seen. So it's not down to the show either, but yeah, some fights, they're great.
I suppose they're the main card fights, and then the undercards are the sort of up and coming ones.
Well, sometimes you see me televised on a show, and a lot of the time you see, especially abroad, you'll see 5, 6 fights will be on the live programme. And what you don't understand is, that morning sometimes, I could be in Romania for example, I did a show, and 6 of those fights were live on TV. But I've actually done 9 fights before those live fights.
Got you.
You know, they're just the ones you've seen on telly. So, as glamorous as it sounds, nice trip to Romania. I've probably got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, had a shower, brushed my teeth, got out the door, got down to the airport, got the first flight out the airport, sitting there like Billy No Mates in the lounge. Everyone's walking past you with their suitcases. We're going on holiday, all stag doos, people dressed up and all that. And you're sitting there like working out all the fights you've got on, doing some research where you're there, relaxing, have a cup of coffee or whatever. And you get that first flight there, and then by the time those fights come round, it's probably like 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
That day is tiring, you know, it is tiring.
Long, like 24 hours right round, I suppose.
Yeah, and then by the time you have a drink after the show or something, socialise a bit. You literally hit the pillow for 2-3 hours, then they're costing the money the whole time you're there. You're on the flight back to England.
So literally on a quick turnaround like that?
All the time, yeah.
Blimey.
All the time. You don't get long.
Yeah.
We did, me and Dave Fensom, we'd done lion fight in Sicily a few weeks back. Really, really good show. And I did it in an old, looked like a mafia square, right in the middle there, in Rossellini. An amazing show, really, really amazing show. But it's recorded in history as the hottest Europe's ever been. It was like 48 degrees, 47 degrees at some point. And I watched it on the news after. It was really, really hot. So, and you're there quick. It's a quick turnaround, yeah.
Yeah. What was it like from watching fights, from being a former fighter yourself? Is there certain fights that you sort of you're really looking forward to, or sort of what sort of up and coming names are the ones now that are driving you on?
Oh, it's terrible.
So what sort of names, sort of big names now, is there coming forward that sort of encourage you more to want to watch and get involved in them?
Oh, don't. These are all the guys that are coming up and they're like much better than what you were. And you commentate and you think, wow, look, you're only this old and look how good you are, you know? It's like, when you've been there, like, I've had almost 60 fights. So, where you've been there, you look at them, you think, God, you're so much better than me there. They're so technically good as well. And I mean, we're sitting in a gym at the moment doing this where Natty Dodds is there. He's a really amazing young fighter, good looking. God, like all those things you don't like. Yeah, so you've got to try and pretend you like them and commentate. No, I love seeing the talent coming. England's blessed with talent, mate. Like, when you look around Europe, the rest of the world, England's blessed. We've got really high standard over it.
Yeah. Well, can we just go back to a little bit of your fighting? So obviously you've done it yourself, the Muay Thai.
Lost 22.
Well, where did that? Obviously done a lot of time in Thailand and stuff.
Yeah, loved it out there. Loved Thailand.
What sort of gyms did you train at out there?
I trained in like luxury places sometimes, like Fairtex, where you saw me there.
Yeah.
Fairtex, you came and saw me there, where you've got like, it's like 5-star. And I've trained in like places with all the bags are falling off the walls, and I loved it, like little ghetto gyms, like where they get you out every 2 weeks fighting out there, and you get to clinch and spar with Thais rather than, they turn into a bit of a tourist factory now, I'll be honest with you. When you're out in Thailand, you see a lot of the big gyms, it's not washed like it used to be.
More
Loads
like
of
money
Thai
making
people.
thing, older pads,
Maybe.
money.
Yeah. See the trainers looking at the clock sometimes in certain gyms, but yeah, there's not that passion. Like, maybe it's just where I've got older, you know. Like, when I was young, it was all good, but when I was there, it was.
I think it depends on what sort of customers they're getting. If they know you're only going to be there for 1 or 2 sessions, I suppose they can't be bothered putting all the time and effort in for you.
Yeah, what
if
for?
you're off. But if you're staying a bit longer time, then obviously.
And they think they can get your corner and get you to fight someone
more,
good.
Yeah, put more time and effort into you.
Yeah, listen, some trainers take a liking to you, then they want to take you to, like, sometimes back to where they're from in Thailand, because a lot of trainers, they come to earn the money in the tourist areas, and you can listen, like really good gyms where you're clinching and sparring, like really good Thais all the time, you know. Got little 16-year-olds throwing you around and all that. It's like boxing your head off when you're sparring. You're like, wow, this is better. And then when they know they can take you somewhere, like, I fought on Channel 7, things like that, and they know they can take you to that point, it's good for their CV, you know.
Yeah.
If they don't get someone getting no Westerner like me on a platform like that, then it's good for their book.
Where did you fight out there? So what stadiums and it?
I fought in all of them, really. Yeah, lots. Yeah, got good stadium fights. I fought loads of local fights though. You know, I fought a lot in Teppersit, places like that.
Yeah.
I had like 9 fights just in Teppersit.
Really?
Yeah. So I only lost 2 fights in Teppersit, and won all the rest of the fights there. Quite good.
How do you find it yourself from fighting in Thailand and over here? Because to watch the fights, it's quite more relaxed in Thailand, isn't it?
Suits me. I like that slow style. I like starting slow. I like a big round 4 and 5. Lazy, I suppose. Never fit enough.
Yeah.
You know, you've said it yourself to me. I used to get a misconception of cutting loads of weight was the way forward. Being 6 foot tall and getting under 63 kilo, I used to always think I'd have an advantage on someone. Looking back, it wasn't true. I made myself really ill for some fights, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, really ill. I remember I did a show in Orpington years ago, like Kent. I thought a really good guy actually. He went on to be very good, and I got so ill cutting the weight. I sat down at the medical table. You have to go for your medical before the fight, obviously. And the guy was like, "You got temperature of 40." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh right." I said, "That's just where I've been trying to lose a little bit more weight for." You're making things up. You're making things up because you want to fight so badly, even though you. And when I had nothing over me, I just went in there. I got in the ring. First thought was, I've got nothing in me.
Yeah, no
so
power.
Sitting in the changing room, sweating out. Yeah, and I think, why are you doing it?
What sort of weight did you walk around at, and what did you have to cut? What was you cutting down to?
73, 74, 75 kilo. Get down to 63, yeah.
Blimey, so 10 kilos you're cutting.
Yeah, regular.
Just a lot of weight, isn't it?
Especially when you're going out a lot. Like you're 2 weeks fighting, and then you win your fight and you have a blowout, you go out drinking and you put on weight so fast, bang, you're like, wow, where's that come from? Like, I had
take a couple of days to put it on.
I had half a shandy.
Months to get it off.
Yeah, had half a shandy and half a bit of pizza, and I'm massive again. And then you lose it again quickly to go out 2 weeks later. But it's mad. I mean, I cut weights. I did. John Jarvis used to put on really good shows. I used to fight quite a bit on his shows actually, fight his own fighters and things. And there was one guy he had, very good fighter. I thought he was very good. Geezer Cole, very good. And I cut a load of weight. I went well below because I was used to fighting so light.
Yeah.
I thought this is easy, but no, I don't know. I just got used to cutting that weight and doing the same things that I do. I come in about 6-7 kilo lighter.
Blimey.
You still want to fight, you go out there, and I think we clashed heads and my eye split again. My eye used to split all the time.
Did you get many injuries in your fight career?
Oh, loads.
Did you?
I'll tell you one injury I got. I done my knee in Bangla Stadium in Thailand. It's I've done. I think everyone thought I took a dive. Nothing happened. I stepped back on it and it just went. I was all, what's going on there? I can't walk. So
what did they just pop the top
my cartilage tore right around the front in a U shape. It's called a bucket handle tear on the meniscus, and it stood up like that, so my leg just didn't move. I needed operation, and I decided I'm going to come back to England, execute my healthcare, and get my knee done. So I came back to England. I said, "Who's the best? You know, I want this done because I want to be out in Thailand in the sunshine, having fights every couple of weeks and having fun." And this guy called Dr. Lamba does all the top footballers. He's the best because he does this keyhole surgery. So he got my knee better. I was out in weeks later. I was fighting again. It gave me jip, you know what I mean? But it was good enough to fight. The broken ribs used to hurt me the most. My ribs never really mended for ages. I kept fighting with them. And anyway, 5-6 years later, I met my now wife, and I had to go around and meet her family. And so I've got to go and meet Dad now. So I come round there to meet Dad, and it turns out that her uncle, who says to me, "Last time I saw you, Danny, you was asleep," is the surgeon who done my knee.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. So he got me back out fighting again pretty quick, actually. Yeah.
That's a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mad one. Yeah, it really is.
So how did that, after your knee operations, you carried on fighting after that?
Yeah. It was all right, to be honest with you. It's a lot of people have an operation. A lot of footballers have that operation, and then it doesn't get better. They just don't get better from it. Mine got better, to be honest. I think it was that nice sunshine out there and going in the sea every day and all that sort of thing. I got better, to be fair. 6 months later, I was kicking full pelt with it. I had 3 fights with it. Bad as well, yeah.
How did you find, did you get any sort of, when you was fighting in Thailand, did you get cut at all over there?
Cut to bits.
How did you find their sort of health and safety of healing you up over there?
I loved it. Do you know,
I've seen it where they literally just, no anaesthetic, put the needle through, didn't they? So
I thought Guy Cannon, everyone was like, you're going to get smashed. He's like, well, too good for you, do you know what I mean? The Thai, like, how are you even fighting him? And you know that thing where you're like, I'll prove you all wrong, do you know what I mean? I'm going to smash it in a bit. And then tried to trade kicks with this guy, and he was just, mate, he was just getting through my body all the time, just too fast. So I thought, I'm going to go to war with elbows here. It's usually my get out of jail thing. And yeah, he matched me with him. It's good. We went 5 rounds. We started elbowing him round 3. And at the end, they take you straight out, and we were literally sitting opposite each other in the changing room, and the doctor was like, I think it's adrenaline or something, cleaning you on the cut, and cleaning him. We're still looking at each other like, you right? He's like, yeah, okay, sabadi, yeah. We're good, you know, we're okay. And then we're just watching, we're getting sewn up like that. It's uncomfortable, but like the fight's still on, right? Yeah. I lost on points, but the fight was still on, sort of thing, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, stitches don't hurt, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I think he was sort of thinking, like, I'm not going to let him know they hurt me, are they?
I didn't realise that, so yeah, I suppose it would be, because when I fought out there, I thought it was weird that sort of over here you're in different change rooms, you don't see your opponent. But over there, you're sitting next to your opponent, and they're wrapping your hands up, and then together, and then you're warming up like next to each other, looking at each other. It's all a bit of a...
I fought an American guy once, Tepesit, and they put us on the table, and I was like a metre away from this guy like this. Well, he was getting massaged as well, so we were sort of eyeballing each other before.
That's quite a lot of fight, you know, mentally to take in, isn't it? If you're used to fighting over here and you don't see your opponent until you're in that ring, do you?
No.
And then suddenly...
He'd only had like, I think he said 14 fights or something at like Thai rules. He's only had like 14 fights or something then. So I think that bit of experience, it helps you, you know. You just sit there like smiling at him, and you genuinely ain't. Like you're thinking like, your mind's miles away from the fight until you go. You just relax yourself, because people lose a lot of energy in the changing room, worrying about it, overthinking it. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you picked up a few titles in your time as well, Dan, haven't you?
I've got some, yeah.
Can you talk us through them and what you got?
They don't mean a lot to me sometimes, the titles. I think it's who against, who you fought. You know, honestly, Lee, my that Tepesit title was good. It was good to get that, because I was I was fighting in that stadium, and I was rated there. That's my little bit where I got rated, so it's good to get a title in there. But some of my best fights I lost, I think. Looking back, honestly, seriously, when I fought higher caliber fighters and took them close, you know, I think that was, I think that means more. You see a lot of people with a lot of straps on, and you think you ain't been through the people to get those straps. So titles don't always talk. You know, the WBC are doing good things with their titles at the moment, and then the promotions are doing good things with their titles. Won championships, Lion Fight. You've got to come and fight a champion and win that belt. Do you understand? They're good platforms, you know, like Raw Combat League. They're doing the WBC title, and what he's doing with his fight is he's putting the Raw titles on as well. So they do like their promotion title as well, and they're making people defend it, doing it properly. So I don't like, if you do it like that way. I don't like people who go on about straps too much now.
There is one fight of yours on YouTube that's quite good to watch though, where you actually knocked the guy out with a spinning back elbow. Oh. That was for a title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite a nice win to have though, isn't it?
It's like Southern area title thing. I wasn't too concerned of that, but he was a good clincher, that guy. He wanted to, I could feel him round 1 getting his hands around my neck early, and he was good in the clinch and started near me up. I thought I need some space, and then I had an injury for that fight as well actually, and but I only cut to 65. It was nice for me, had an extra couple of kilo, and I did have an injury, and that injury started to hurt when I come in at the end of round 1. I was thinking, oh no, and I thought I'm going to have to do something here, and then he's clinching me up again, and the referee was letting the clinches go for ages, like they were non-productive. He was hanging on to me, and I was trying to get out, and then I mean, I like clinch, I love clinch, but didn't want to be in there because I had an injury that hurt. And I managed to get a bit of space, and it's just a combination I've worked on a lot. I've thrown a combination before and really smashed someone hard with it, but they wore it better than him, to be fair. That time I didn't connect as well before. It's exactly the same. I just left kick, disguise the left kick, don't tee it back, throw that right cross, and then just after you've thrown it, let the momentum carry you through with your elbow. You know, hopefully the punchers knock their head back.
That was right on the button, that one, wasn't it? Dropped him straight away.
Well, bless his soul, a couple of weeks ago we lost Paul Taylor, and he's been there, done it. He's one of the pioneers of British Muay Thai as well, really. He's trained Christian, Lyndon Knowles. He's got great CV of fighters, you know. His sons they've just grown up in Muay Thai. They're like, they know more than 90-year-olds about the sport, you know, already. And he was in my corner, and I knew, I felt it right in the corner of my elbow. I knew I cracked him. I knew it was a good shot, and I watched. His eyes were out when he was on the floor. He's gone. But I was excited. I'd done some terrible cartwheel or something, and then all my lot went mad on both sides. So I wanted to see both sides because they're all going nuts. People that were with me, and Paul's gone, "Me, Danny, come here." And I'm like, "Yeah." He went, "Calm down. You might have killed him, mate." He goes, "Look, he's not moved one bit." I went, "Oh right." So we walked about for a second until we see that little, you know, like flinch and come round again, don't they?
Yeah.
And then I was probably flash again.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to celebrate a win, I suppose, haven't you? After it's,
yeah, of course, mate.
all the training and hard work that goes into it and the build up of it.
It's the entertainment business, right?
At the end of it, it's a little release, isn't it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So where do you think your career's going to carry on from here now, Dan?
Just keep doing what I'm doing, Lee.
Keep
to be honest,
doing
presenting the shows, letting other people have their limelight when they're coming up. Hopefully, I can represent them well and portray all the excitement that they're bringing to the fight, and I can just let everyone back at home enjoy it as well. I like to, a lot of times in my commentary, Lee, I like to play a bit more dumb, ask a question than what I actually know. So if I've got a good technical commentator with me, I'll say, I don't know, like, what, this guy, is he up? Is he winning? I know he's winning, you know, but and let him explain what's going, bring in my co-com. And I just want to keep doing that, Lee, and keep giving these fighters good representation, you know.
Just a quick question, Dan. Who's your personal favourite fighter on the circuit at the moment?
On the circuit at the moment? You're not allowed to be biased in my...
Oh, just someone who's, you know, you'll find most entertaining, that you think, oh, I can look forward to this fight.
I've seen some kids grow, like Liam Nolan and Jonathan Haggerty, and I've watched them grow from nothing, and I'm excited when I see them fight. Liam's just, he's just taken out one of the most awesome fighters in the world on points, Yusuf Bagaram, who, as soon as Liam challenged him, said, "Look, I'm a champion, I have to fight. Who wants to fight me?" Even though he's young, probably hasn't got the experience to fight me compared to, although he's fought and won championships and stuff, but Yusuf's had like hundreds of fights. And he's a proper champion. He's like, right, someone wants to challenge me, I'm a champion, I have to defend it, and he's letting him fight him. They're big fights. They're fights I look forward to. I mean, Lion Fight's bringing some spectacular fights as well. There's always fights I want to watch on there.
When we talk about the Lion fights, we had Jake Peacock on for an interview a little while ago.
Mutual friend?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. I follow him. He's fantastic what he does, his performances.
Yeah, I've become good friends with Jake. We've spent a lot of time together at the shows, staying in the hotels together, obviously. I got a gym membership when we went to Glasgow that covered me for a gym up there, so we quickly nutted over for a nice sauna and all that. and I've got to know him well. He's awesome. He's just one of these guys where, you know, there's no excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no excuses, mate. You know, he's got like art of 8 limbs, and he fights with 7 limbs.
That's right. Yeah.
But he actually uses the length of his arm to good effect as well. He's awesome. Kicks like a mule, you know.
The way he switches it up as well, like different stances.
But loads of little tricks as well. Gets in the clinch and use the back of his heel to smash her in the fire. And you think, oh, that's a silly move, but they hurt. They're like they're effective shots.
Yeah, especially 3 or 4 of them in the same spot.
Yeah, he's really good, really good,
Yeah. So what have you got upcoming now, Dan? What's the next show you're on?
Oh, loads. Next weekend, I'm presenting loads of boxing shows at the moment, pro, semi-pro.
Before the new year, still with
Yeah, I've got 6 shows to go now before the new year, and then I'll pack up and start thinking about how long I'm going to cook the turkey for with the family. I'll have a load round again. I didn't have a load round last Christmas because of COVID, obviously, but I'm used to cooking for a lot of people, so that'll be on my mind more.
I'll just ask you about if you get a really bad performance on there, does it make it like a bad performance for you for commentating, like, or do you have to try and sort of?
Some fights are slow, and you've got to try and portray excitement, but you can't push it too far. Sometimes you just got to be honest.
Yeah.
You've got to say, like, these guys. I'll just throw my my technical commentator under the bus, to be honest with you. I'll just say, like, what these guys got to do to get this fight going, what they're doing wrong. You know, I'll have my own ideas what they're doing, but I'll just throw the co-commentator under the bus, let him try and bring some excitement.
What about what sort of do you have to go through if someone does get knocked out bad and they're not coming round? Do you sort of
sometimes.
How do you commentate on that without?
It's a mood swing, isn't it? It's bang from excitement down to worry. It's just emotions, isn't it? And you've got to try and portray emotions that people will feel back home, and it's bad. I mean, I've seen some really, really bad knockouts. There was in Moldova, there was a heavy knockout. The guy was stone looking up, and you've got to carry people through live on telly through that situation. And inside you're thinking, please open your eyes, move.
Because I suppose it's on you then. While they're just out on the floor, you've got to keep talking to keep
just carry this lot through where we just get this body out of the ring or bring him round, But it's always gone well, and it's always finished really well for me, luckily. I mean, obviously sometimes it's been worse for other commentators. I mean, I grew up with Nigel Benn. We grew up around him, that era, and obviously there was a bad fight around there that didn't end well, did it? And I think the fight sports industry learnt a lot from that. People don't give us credit for how much we do. They're always saying what we don't do. They don't say what we do. We've always got good medics there that we know and trust. We have good, experienced cornermen, mostly on the big shows, who will get that towel in and look after their fighter. We've got really good officials, referees that will come in and just stop that fight. Say, look, I've had enough. We've had great officials for years. Chris Batchador now coming up, referees. He'll stop that fight. And although it's the entertainment industry first and foremost, and people are like, what's going on? Why did he stop that fight? Because he's 1 metre away from him. He's 1 metre away from him. You could see him straight. We're 2 metres away from him. We know he's hurt. You've got to look after these people. Keep the sport alive like that.
I suppose as well, once a fight is damaged, that's them done, isn't it? It's safety first, really.
Well, we don't know. We're all like young, ambitious people. I'd sustained bad injuries. Like I've got a picture of me with all blood behind my eye. I was obviously bleeding inside from shot and everything, and all you're thinking is, oh my God, how am I going to get out in like 2 weeks to this fight I've got out there? You're desperate. You just want to keep fighting all the time. And I know these emotions these people have. They just want to keep fighting, When the top fighters pull out, 9 times out of 10 it's because they really can't fight. They've probably done everything they can to get back in there,
I'll just ask your opinion on, there's a lot of it going on online about headshots for kids. How do you feel about that?
Listen, I'll go and commentate on it. It's down to the promotion, it's on their shoulders. You've got Pete Spence, he does massive kid shows up north, and I saw him say, no head contact. He's the one who puts his neck on the line, makes it happen. On that occasion, I'll go with what he says. I'll back the people that do it, I mean, when I was a kid, I'd have probably liked to have a fight. We did have fights, right? Bad ones. And when people criticise Thailand when the kids are fighting, I'm like, I've lived with these kids. They love it. They love it.
It's brutal though. They wouldn't have them hitting each other with elbows full on, like over here. a kid would fall over and graze their knees, they're crying their eyes out. Over
Now.
there, they're getting split with elbows and they're still carrying on fighting.
Oh, we
It's
come
like-
from the Ovis Bread days, Lee. Come on, we didn't do that. We were all right. Nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nowadays. But yeah, listen, whatever the people want to do in their promotion with the kids, I'll back them up. You know,
Yeah.
I'll back them, and if they say no headshots for kids, no headshots for kids. It's look after them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't do you too bad, did it?
I'm all right, Jack.
Right, shall we round it up?
Yeah.
Right, thanks Dan, thanks for coming.
Thanks,
Much
Lee.
appreciated.
It's all right.
We'll see you again
Keep
soon.
an eye out for this broadcast, everyone. We've got loads more coming, haven't you, Lee?
Yep, lots more coming up.
Good luck, guys.